I live in Booth Bay Harbor, and I've always looked into here like, wow, that's like an old car dealership. And so starting 4 or 5 years ago, I'm like, wow, look at this, there's old cars in here. But how do I get a hold of this? No, the doors are never open. There's no phone number on the building. Well, I kept on asking people, and they ultimately gave me Todd's phone number. Todd owns this building, and these are all his vehicles. So now after 4 or 5 years, we're gonna go inside. I haven't been in here yet, so let's go. Oh man. So what are we looking at here?
Well, it's a 1923 Buick called a 2355 Sport Touring. This came from a collection. I didn't get it through there, but Pratt and Whitney, the company, it was Whitney's, that was his grandfather that started Pratt and Whitney. And he had this huge collection in New York. And that came from there through another guy to me. And it took me 3 years to get it.
Is that a running car?
Yes, but I just got the starter back the other day, starter generator.
So you can drive this car, isn't that amazing?
Once, yeah, give me about a week.
Yep. If you enjoy our YouTube videos and have been wondering how you can help support their creation, consider joining the Hagerty Drivers Club, which includes a subscription to Hagerty Magazine, unlimited access to our valuation tool, exclusive offers and rewards with reputable brands in the automotive industry, 24/7 roadside assistance with flatbed towing, early access and VIP perks to select Hagerty member events, and unlimited classified listings with no additional fees. You can find the link in the description below. Now this thing looks like something out of the Little Rascals.
This is the only one that I know of that's this old. It's an AutoCar. It's a 1909. They started making trucks in 1908. And this is, what's remarkable about this, it's an unrestored running relic. It'll start right up.
Can I sit in it?
Oh yeah.
This is one of the oldest vehicles I've been in my life. So how long have you had this?
3 years, I think.
So this is how many cylinders?
2, horizontal.
Horizontal.
I put the seat up. I'd run it for you. It don't take 2 seconds, but put the seat up and you'll be able to see. You're sitting on top of the engine.
So is it water cooled?
Yes.
Water
Big radiator.
So
the only thing that's not right is this little tanks here, because the tank is in kind of a U shape around the engine. It's got a little dirt in it. It needs to be cleaned.
I get it.
So I haven't got to that yet.
So is this a brake and a clutch?
Just a clutch and brake, and the little one down there is the gas.
Oh wow.
And usually something like this has spark advance. This doesn't have it, but it's got, that's all throttle right there.
So you can set the throttle.
That's it. Yep.
So this windshield folds
goes down, clips on the front.
This is unrestored.
This set, close as I can figure, 26 or 27, because the plate, which is hanging over there in back of that time clock, is 1926 Massachusetts, where this hung out on Boston waterfront, Chelsea, Boston area. And that was the last plate that was on it, was 26. They parked it in a building on a pier over the water and let it set, just kind of forgot about it, because they weren't doing the coal anymore. 1980, a guy figured out, it sat there all the years and no one got it.
Indoors?
Yep, it was indoors, but it was over the water, and they were worried about anybody tried to get it would fall through because the building was rotten. I don't know the man, but I've got a picture up, and I found it online because this truck's the only one you put in 1909 coal truck. This is the only one that'll come up. So that it sat over the water in Chelsea, and a guy figured out how to get it, and he got it. Within 3 hours, they had it running, and it stayed just the same. This top here has been replaced since then, but in that little thing in the back, the window. But other than that,
this is fabulous.
It's just original. It's got PTO, that little scissor lift and everything.
So check out the solid rubber tires. This is, I guess, 1909. That was before pneumatic tires.
Yeah, and it's all wooden rims.
Could you fire this up?
Sure.
Oh, I'd love it. That would be great.
I waited for you because I want to show you this seat mechanism.
Man,
look at that.
All cantilevered.
Isn't that pretty neat?
Is that a magneto up there?
Yeah. I talked to a guy. He says he's taking those apart to check them over 100. This is 114 or something years old. He says nothing wrong with them. They get a little prime. Try that. Now with the old cranks, they always say put your thumb there, but with this one, it's only 2 cylinders, so I don't worry too much.
Okay.
You watch, I'll probably end up snapping my hand, but that's all right. Ready? There she goes. That's fabulous. That's amazing. There you go. 114 years old.
don't have to keep it running long. You can shut it
Okay.
off. It's got lettering on the side. Have you figured out what it says?
Yes.
It says something coal.
Harvey Quality Coal. When the SR Harvey Company Quality Coal, when I first got this, you couldn't read anything. Started wiping it down with Penetrol. And it's like, it's starting to come out. It's number 6, truck, and on the other side it tells how much it weighs, and we probably should have run it last. Now it's all smoky, but that's all right.
Man, that is wonderful.
Newer things that, well, there's one pretty thing out here you're gonna, I think, marvel at.
Wow. I want to take a moment and thank today's sponsor, Consumer Cellular. Consumer Cellular delivers premium nationwide wireless coverage for up to half of what the largest carriers charge. Has award-winning 100% US-based customer support. If you need help or want to make the easy switch, you can call and talk to a real live person, and they'll talk to you for as long as you need help. They have the latest phones, but if you want to keep the phone and number you've already got, that's fine too. There's no contract, you pay nothing up front, and activation is free. Be sure to click the link in the description below.
That one there, you should have some questions on right there.
Boy, Selden. What year is that one?
1918. Now, do you recognize the name?
Well, Selden.
George Selden. First automobile pattern holder that fought with Ford.
That's right. He
He
patented.
built this truck. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So so historians better than me will know that Selden, a lawyer in Detroit named Selden,
Right, patent lawyer.
patented motor vehicles and said that anybody who wants to build a motor vehicle after this has to pay me a royalty.
And Ford said no.
Yep.
And Ford wanted to sell for the little guy, so he said no because it was another price on it.
Okay. And so here we have a Jeep Wagon.
This is a
Willys?
cream puff here. It's a 49. But
It doesn't have a V8 Chevy or
six-cylinder.
flathead?
This chassis is original. The woman that had it, she had a horse ranch in Reno, Nevada. And I bought it. So they put a winch on it and bigger tires, but in the seats. Other than that, though, it's original, except for the rear bumper.
So 49. So this is 4 years after the war, and Willys, who had been making Jeeps for America during World War II, was looking to get into the civilian market. If you think of it, this is one of the first metal station wagons because Ford was still making woody wagons until 1951.
Willys was ahead of its time, I think. This was supposedly the first year they offered four-wheel drive in the wagon.
So is that a Hurricane engine?
Runs good. She even gave me a spare one.
A spare engine. So where'd you find this car?
Oh, Craigslist. I was looking for one. I was gonna have a place in Nova Scotia. And I was gonna take this up there, and for the grandkids, for kids and grandkids, and so this is kind of what I wanted. And well, come to find out, it doesn't fit in the garage just right, so I'm leaving it here.
There it is. Yeah. That's a fascinating truck.
That's all original. That's a 1941 AutoCar telephone pole truck. And you see the thing on the top of the cab? It looks like a vent.
Yeah.
That's really a mirror. The driver runs the winches. There's 2 winches in the back that he runs. And if you notice, for 41, it's a 4-man cab.
4-man cab. It's got suicide doors.
Yep.
Now, suicide doors open. They hinge in the back, open in the front. The reason they call them suicide, if this became dislodged, while you're driving, the door would slam open and the passenger could fall out.
And
that's
it's,
fabulous. And look how solid it is.
Solid.
Wow. Where'd you find this?
Right on the border of Vermont and New York. Took me 24 hours driving time to get it home.
Oh, I bet.
I got a trailer truck I went and got it with. I lost an ejector half an hour before I got there.
This has got to have low mileage, I'd say.
See the wooden poles? They're called pick poles.
Yeah.
That's for adjusting the pole into the hole. And there's a boom section that mounts on the back. It's all in there. You just can't see it where it's sitting. One of the winches picks it up, and another one pulls it in and out, and those pick poles get it so they lower it down. This is back when there's a lot of manual labor.
This could be used in a movie or something. I mean, this is... Wow. So Jeep number 2.
Well, this is going to Nova Scotia. It fits in the garage better than that one.
Is that a 4-cylinder?
That's 4. But this is funny. It's set on an island off of Maine. Now, if you thought a Jeep was going to be rusty on Vinyl Haven, you would think it would be totally rusted out. There's nothing in this. It's clean. And the guy had a snowplow on it. He had a top, and it was quite bad. I
You know, it
ripped
was
it off.
probably-
Painted it with a brush. He was going to go hunting with it up north. Changed his mind. It's got one dent in the back.
All right, so now we'll go to get away from the trucks and go to the cars here. So you got a Love Bug,
Automatic.
automatic.
That's that. But you drive it like a standard.
So it's automatic clutch.
Yeah, you rev it up, let off, shift it.
All right, so you got a Corvette here.
Yeah,
Seen better days.
The kids, before I bought it, kids get on it. I got one all painted to go on it, but it needs a paint job. It's a 73, which was the start of the dog years, but it's got the bumper that's chromed on the back, and this is the first year of the
Yep,
5 mile an hour bumper.
Yep.
It's not original car. The engine's been replicated to make the LS1, so it's 370 horse, 4-speed.
It's an LS in here?
It's a replication of one.
By the way, I mean, are these keepers or do you want to sell any of these things? Yeah.
No, pretty much all this stuff's keepers for me.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
This is my daughter's. I gave this to her.
This truck.
I didn't even want it. I was a Chevy man years ago. And the guy had this, it wasn't painted. I traded a welder that all I wanted was $300, and he wanted the welder, and I said, ah, the heck with it, I'll take it. And I didn't even use it. Set down the other place I have. I used to put my blocking in it. And finally one day I needed so much blocking, I said, well, I'll throw a battery in it, see if I can get it going. Started right up, started driving it. That's the first Ford, and it's not the end. Because I turned myself into a Ford.
Is that a 306?
No, it's a tiny 226.
226.
Oh, wait a minute, excuse me, 240 on this one.
240.
We call it putt-putt. It's just
So
a little
it's got
tiny.
a three-speed.
Supposed to be on the column, someone put it on the thing, and I just left it.
So what's your daughter doing with it?
Stores it here mostly.
Okay, she's chip off the old block.
Yeah,
So these dad's hot rods?
yeah, it's a 67 RT, 440. It's an original numbered car.
Yep. So you're a Mopar guy, you're a GM guy, you're
I'm
a
just
Ford guy.
anything.
Yeah,
That's
I get it.
64 GTO over there.
First year GTO, wow.
Yeah, see, you know, it's all original. I don't even bother. It's got the rip in the seat. I just like driving it.
The 389?
Yeah, with a tri-power. As you can see, I drive it. The paint's gone.
Yep. So it's got power steering, but that's it.
Yeah, and
There's no
I
power-
changed the radiator and put a aluminum one.
Did it run hot?
Little hot. We have parades. Well, the engine's built up a little bit. It's not original. It's all the right components, but everything's been ported inside. The pistons have been, all
So it
new.
runs well.
Balance. Oh yeah. So you put a bigger cam. I made the mistake because I was young when I first got this, or younger. The guy, I had an engine builder do it for me, and he says, "How do you want it?" I said, "I want this car to almost stall at every stoplight." Oh my God, that's what it does. It's a pain in the butt. I only like to drive it by myself because then I don't go through cities and towns. This one, that's why I got this, so we can go out to dinner with
So
this.
almost stalled because it's got such a
big
lumpy
load.
cam?
Right, and if it stalls,
Yep.
you might as well get a tow truck because it'll be so hot you won't start.
Oh, God.
But
All right, so there are going to be viewers here that will criticize me for saying, oh, you totally
Those-
ignored the Volvo.
those aren't mine.
All three, okay, well, that's why we're totally ignoring it, because they don't belong
helping
here.
a friend out.
This is like a museum that's not open to the public.
This side's just full of stuff. I haven't got it cleaned up. Here's another
Oh
truck
man,
here.
you got lots of stuff. All right, where do we start?
Dodge 39.
39. So they had changed from the Dodge Star of David logo by that time. Now it was just Dodge.
That's a 39, like custom or super or something, deluxe.
How long have you had that?
Oh gosh, probably since 2000. It
10
was
years.
my brother's. He passed at a younger age. When he was young, he had a 39 Plymouth, and he always tried to find the exact car, and he couldn't. So he ended up buying this. He was going to redo it, and he got sick and died, and that left it to me. And I'd like to redo it someday. It needs to be it's solid, but it needs to be all torn down and gone through, and you know how long that takes. So.
And you know what? At the end of the day, well, sentimental reasons, it might be worth it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you would not make.
No,
It would not make financial sense.
I might just pull the engine, get it going, and start having fun with it. I don't know.
So these are rare beasts these days. These International Scouts.
Yeah, a couple of my kids want those. Those are all running. They're 65s.
Is that a slant four?
Yeah, half of one. That's the half of that engine.
Is that an international motor? Or is it an
International.
AMC motor, or what is
Yeah,
that?
international. These international Scouts are 65s.
So there's a motor you never see. I mean, never see. Yeah, it says International right on there.
And one of those has the factory winch. You can't even see it. It hasn't run for a few years since I put it in here, but it was when it came in. This has only got 12,000 miles on it, this one.
This is a four-wheel drive Ford.
Yeah, 63. And the tailgate's like brand new, it's at my other building.
12,000 miles. Is this a fire department truck?
A man had this, and he had a marina, and all he did is drive around his house with it. Hardly ever been on the road.
So these are the later model Jeepsters. So do the roofs come off here?
Yes.
They do?
Oh,
okay.
they do, they lift off.
Okay.
So it's an open top. These had V6.
Yep.
The Buick Dauntless, they called them.
Take a look at this. This is the later edition. In a moment, we're going to see what the Jeepster started out like, which was kind of Jeep's attempt to get into the sports car business. They saw after World War II that American soldiers were bringing back MGTDs and Jaguars and Triumphs from Europe, and Jeep said, oh, we're going to try to build a sports car. So we're going to see that in a moment. Now, what year is this Jeepster?
Well, it's actually, I was told it's a 51, which technically they didn't make, because they made them from 48 to 50. And this was either a leftover or made from parts that were still there. It was sold as a 51. This runs, but it doesn't look the gray, but you know, you got to get them when they're there. So it's a 4-cylinder overhead. It's
kind of attractive. It's, you know, two-tone. It's got this nice belt molding, and it's, look at this chrome trim around here. This is they didn't have to do this. Very nice.
My friend made fun of me for, the guy gave it to me if I wanted it, and so I went and got it, and it's almost folding up. I had to winch it on a trailer, and I brought it home. I had an older friend, and he says, what, did you buy that? I said, I didn't. He said, why did you even take it? And I said, do you see these chrome strips?
Yeah, exactly. So this was, you know, kind of a sports car. They were only available in this generation as a two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive vehicle, not four-wheel drive. And it was you could put the family in there and go to Dairy Queen. I mean, it was really cool. It had a back seat. So you could probably put bucket seats in the front, I think. Maybe there was a bench.
No, buckets.
Buckets, okay. So five, 6 people could fit in here. A family could use this as a very practical kind of sports car. Very nice.
Pretty much.
And then one big cab over here. Look.
That is going to be my service truck for myself. Ex-fire truck.
Wow, that thing is clean.
3208 Caterpillar.
So it's got a fresh paint job on it.
Yes, I get rid of the red.
Wow.
That will start up without even one rotation.
So you're going to put a flatbed or?
No, I got a utility body going on it, and I'm going to have I got a diesel welder, and I've got a telephone, one of those telephone truck buckets is going to go on it, and a gas-powered air compressor. So I'll have air, my welder, and the torch set, and I have a little thing to get up and do some welding in up above. 30,000 miles on the truck. But
from new?
Yep, 3208 Caterpillar. You gotta hear it purr. I'll turn it right off.
Okay.
If you don't want it on, listen to this old girl. Whoops.
Wow. Man, is that sweet.
Air brakes.
So is that a V8?
Yes, V8 Caterpillar.
All right, well, I guess we've seen it here. You're one of the most fascinating people I've ever met in this series. And that's pretty cool. I mean, you know, your collection in the building and now your collection out here, it's totally different from each other. My God. I mean, passenger-sized vehicles to monster-sized vehicles. But thank you so much.
Oh,
it's been an amazing adventure to meet you and see your stuff. Thank you so much.
That's a 41 Seagrave. It's a little bit of rust back there, but I mean, in Maine, you don't find things this clean.
Yeah, what are you going to put in there?
That's going on a trailer truck frame. I have 400 Cummins. That's what's going in this. This body's coming off and going on the truck, you'll see in a minute.